That guy standing right behind me is the Mothman.
This might be one of the most famous cryptids ever, being in movies, books, comics, toys, even video games, bro. The history of the Mothman dates back all the way to 1966, when two couples were hanging out in the TNT area in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, when they reported seeing a moth creature flying right at them. So they got in their car and sped down the road going 100 miles per hour, and apparently the moth creature was keeping up with them. And then not even a year later, another sighting happened. People reported it sitting on top of the Silver Bridge that connected West Virginia to Ohio. The very next day, the Silver Bridge collapsed, with 70 cars on the bridge, and it ended the lives of 46 people. After this, the Mothman was never really seen again. Some speculate it's a sandhill crane bird that's supposed to resemble the likes of the Mothman. Some think it's all just a tourist trap, and some people think it's actually real. Today, we're going to be putting these three theories to the test, starting with it being a tourist trap.
And what better place to start than the world's only Mothman museum?
You know, we went into this museum pretty skeptical, thinking it was all just going to be a bunch of shady tourism. But honestly, it was pretty cool, I can't even lie.
The fact that they have a whole museum to this is actually kind of sick.
As we learned more and more about the Mothman, it all started to make a little more sense. There's clearly something up with this place, and so many theorists just wanted to get to the bottom of it. I mean, the amount of articles written about the bridge collapsing was crazy.
Could you imagine being on that bridge, 70 vehicles plunged into the water?
Now, they clearly did milk the Mothman for some product.
They have a Mothman Funko Pop?
There were some money traps, but I don't think that was the whole story. The museum was cool and it did teach us a lot, but it didn't answer every question.
I need answers to the Mothman, and I need it now, damn it.
We took to the streets to see how much tourism there really was. And they had signs on every corner. They had an entire Mothman pizza.
I think we're ready. Let's do one Mothman pizza.
And it was... I honestly don't really know what to say about that. And they even had an entire Mothman ice cream shop.
Just about everything in this town is based around the Mothman, bro. This is something that I've always wanted to do. We gotta make a wish. Okay.
What'd you wish for?
My wish was that these guys will like and subscribe. Now that we've been to the museum, I think it's time to interview some locals. We got a question for you.
Okay.
Do folks out here really believe in the Mothman?
It's about half and half.
It's half and half?
The younger kids don't really pay attention to it a whole lot, but the older folks split pretty half and half.
There's probably some.
Yeah? Are you not one? No?
I don't really, but I sell enough pizzas of it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
I believe in the Mothman as the Mothman was a big black bird.
Okay. Have you heard of the theory that like it might be a sandhill crane?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Possibility.
Possibility.
Lots of people speculate that it's a sandhill crane. There was a professor that came down and was like, yeah, it's a sandhill crane, guys, don't worry about it.
It was a bird that had got hurt, and that's why it was the only one here. My theory is, and a lot of other people is, that it was sent here by Chief Cornstalk to warn us that something bad was going to happen. There was a young man here who was part Indian. He said that that is one of the Indian spirit animals, is the sandhill crane. You know, and Chief Cornstalk was the one, he put the curse on it, on Point Pleasant, or West Virginia, I think.
Right.
And
Wow.
then my son's aunt happened to be the second car from the light, and she saw the bridge go down. And she saw it. She said she heard a big noise and just saw the bridge fold up like that and go down.
That might have been God looking after. That's interesting. There's some anomalies around here. This is a strange little place.
Yes, right. West Virginia might be a porthole to the unknown.
Bro, we just got like a whole other piece of lore unlocked. And she also said that like her aunt saw the bridge collapse, bro. That was insane. I don't think we're gonna get an interview better than that.
Now, with so much new insight about where these cranes come from and what the Mothman might actually be and why this town is so strange, it was time for us to actually go look for the Mothman ourselves. And in order to find them, I'm gonna go to the Silver Bridge and the legendary TNT bunkers, which is the most infamous and horrifying Mothman sighting spot. This is where the couple in the 60s were reportedly chased down by the Mothman.
So we all know about the bridge incident. That's one of the most famous Mothman occurrences. This is a marker of where the bridge was, and it used to go out into this water. They said that the Mothman was poached up on the bridge right here. So it's crazy that like in our sight is where one of the most iconic Mothman sightings ever is. This town is mysterious, dude. And all that we have left to do here is go investigate these bunkers. I'm nervous. All right, let's get to these bunkers.
So we headed to the TNT bunkers, which is where reportedly the Mothman lives.
It is so cold. The cold should not be our worry, man. Let's just thug the cold out.
And I mean, I can't lie, we were pretty horrified.
I'm so scared. I'm sure there's tourists that have came here. None like this at nighttime, like stupid people.
At this time, we started seeing some flashing red lights that looked exactly like the eyes of the Mothman.
I don't know if you guys can see it over there, but look, there's big red flashing lights coming from the sky.
But it was definitely just cell phone towers.
There's the first one. Oh, first bunker. Holy shit. Whoa, bro, look at that. I think that's like one of the most iconic drawings. Honestly, let's waste no time. Let's just go explore all of them and see what's up in them. Let's go to the next one. Let's just waste no time. All right, bunker number 2. Uh-oh, there's paw prints. I don't really like this one. This one doesn't even have a roof. That's crazy. Nothing here. Let's go. It does kind of reassure me that the Mothman hasn't been sighted since like the 60s, yeah. But you never know. All right, bunker number 3. I don't like this at all. Yo. Come on. Oh, hell. The echoes are scary, man. The Loveland Frog Man? It says the Frog Man. Bro, this is crazy. This is actually insane. All right, let's go to the 4th one. Ready? Yeah, I know. Low-key, like, I just saw those red lights flash over this way, but now they're gone. Did you see that?
No.
Dude, all right down this road, there was red lights and they flashed just like how those do. Now it's not doing anything. Should we keep going? You scared?
A little bit.
I'm a little bit.
You said you saw that fucking red light.
No, it was probably a light, dude. I just don't understand why it's not there anymore. It's the Mothman forest, bro. How bad could it be? I think this is another one. This one doesn't look very good.
Look, there's only 2 sets of footprints that have gone to this one. And one of them don't look human. That's like a big canine. Look at those. Compared to your foot, that's huge.
We're good. Whoa. Oh my gosh, man. This is crazy. We've been to the bunkers and I think all that's left is to actually get footage of a sandhill crane. I mean, I think that's the theory that makes the most sense. Let's go. In order to solve this sandhill crane theory, we drove 7 hours to Chattanooga, Tennessee to find some sandhill cranes for ourselves. All right, we're at the Hiwassee Wildlife Refuge, and I think we actually came to the perfect place if we want to get sandhill crane footage. To our surprise, there was literally thousands of them, bro. Now, the first thing we noticed is that these birds spread their wings exactly like the Mothman. Another thing was that their heads were borderline glowing red, exactly like the eyes of the Mothman. And last but not least, whenever they flew overhead, they were black, exactly like the Mothman. Now, do I personally believe that the Mothman is just a sandhill crane? Yeah. But honestly, I think all of these theories are true. I think in a way the Mothman is real and it's just a sandhill crane that might be cursed. And I definitely think this town saw an opportunity to capitalize and took advantage of it. And so, with that being said, I consider this mystery solved.